Yo boys, back with another video. Today we are going to be doing a solo shuffle, and yes, this was like a 2900 lobby game, so it's very it's actually nice. I'm not gonna lie. When you're playing at higher CR and people actually know what they're doing, it's pretty chillin'. You don't have to like sweat as hard to like do everything perfectly. If you make a mistake, then you have a teammate. It's not like you make a mistake, you instantly lose the game. But pretty much when you're facing an evoker, it's not fun for an assassination rogue, and the reason is because they can dispel all your bleed. So when you're facing an Ellie Shaman, you have to go them, and there's a reason for this. If you do not go the Ellie Shaman, he's going to sit there and destroy your entire team. So here we're going to sap the Evoker if we can. Sap the Evoker. He ends up intervening my Kinney like a god. So I should have seen it, but I ended up just Kinneying into it because I really don't expect Warriors to have a brain cell. Even if I'm playing against, good players, it's, I just can't get over the fact that it's weird. But to be fair though, Assassination Rogue offensively is like the easiest spots to play. It's probably like Fury Warrior easy. Assassination Rogue's not hard at all. I'd say like defensively is the hardest thing about Rogue, or Assassination Rogue at least. You can die in an instant, but if you're not paying attention, always got to be using your feints, always got to be using all your cooldowns perfectly, or you're gonna get toaster oven. But yeah, make sure you're going that Ellie. Now, usually I don't like using my blind in the opener unless I can. So like, let's say, unless like, if I get a sap into a blind, it's good. But like, if they use a cooldown on it, like wall or something, I'm not gonna click blind. I'm gonna save it. Here I blind off his shields. We end up getting his trinket right there. So now we've gotten his trinket. If our lock can get like a stun fear off on our Kinney, we're just gonna instantly kill him with our uh, good old fashioned burst. But at this point, and also if you guys were curious, no, I'm not. I ended up running two builds here, so I'm running an AOE shiv build. So when I'm facing like a weird that I know is gonna be on me, like two targets, that's when I run the double bleeds. And then when I know I'm not gonna be doing that, I just run my bursty build, and that's pretty much how I know. Like if they're never gonna be stacking, I don't run my shiv build. But here we end up actually almost killing him here very low, and he ends up actually dying here because the shaman hits him with a fat, I'm talking about big damn. So he ends up throwing the good old fashioned meatballs across the city here. And at this point, we have the Ellie on our team, so now we're going to be going Warlocks. You have to go these casters. So any melees out there, go the casters. Because if you don't, guess what? They're going to destroy your whole team. Even though we went the Ellie here, he still did top damage. That's what I'm talking about. You'll see once of these games is when they don't focus the Ellie, you'll see how much damage this guy does. So here, this is a situation where I was like, I'm not gonna run it, but I was like, the Warriors probably. See, I figured the Warrior would go the Ellie because that's what you're supposed to do. Like, you have to go Ellie. Ellies are just one of the most broken classes in the game right now. But I think he ended up going me, and that's why I had a feeling that he would. So I ended up killing him here. I have a guy that messaged me. I think he's asking for the good old-fashioned RBGs, but we're gonna keep going with the video. Here, my guy's throwing the good old-fashioned meatballs, doing I don't even know where this damage is coming from. 500k damage in the first, 10 seconds of the game. Anytime the Warlock's sitting in the back like here, if your teammate does not, if your full team doesn't push up with you, you gotta go Warrior. You gotta like push out, because this is a bad spot to be. If you tunnel focus right into that building, right into that small corner, and you get stunned, they're just gonna 100 you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I end up getting my bleeds on the Warrior and then stunning him, bombing him, so I'm forcing those two people to come out and help his teammate. So that I have the Evoker, he comes out here. Arthwan, the good old fashioned Evoker. He ends up dealer stunning me, which is kind of awkward for him, but whatever. And pretty much he ends up using his port here. I end up getting disarmed. I end up trying to nullify. For some reason, I thought I could have got away with it. And I wanted to, I don't know why, I don't know. I'm not even going to ask. So here I can Kinney the Evoker right at, or the lock right after intervening, because obviously you don't want to Kinney on intervene when you can. Now, like I said, the one bad thing about this is as soon as you click your burst, if you don't have immense CC, you're never going to be getting a good old fashioned. Like, he dispels my burst every single game. Instantly. Like, I get about good old fashioned 3 seconds. So you either use it in the opener or you don't use it. So I would honestly suggest just popping all your bursts in the beginning of the game, especially versus an Evoker. Like if it's not versus an Evoker, you can try like saving it for like the second go, the third go. But usually I'd go like max second DR go and then pop off. But when you're facing an Evoker, I would just the first go always pop off. That means you get walls, you get trinkets. At least you're getting cooldowns with it instead of not getting anything. Because after you're really blind and after you're slapping blind at the start of the game, other than gouge, which I'm not running with my AOE shield build, so We're just sitting on the lock here, doing as much damage as possible. As you can see, my Ellie, even though the warriors, so the lock's on me and the warriors on my Ellie, so they're actually spreading damage, which is really bad. Had they been on the same target the entire time, we probably would have been dead by now. We're running out of cooldowns here, and we are not looking good. So the Ellie's doing double everyone else's damage. I end up almost dying here. The Spiritling almost didn't save me. As you can see, it like took a few seconds to proc off. So I see the warrior coming around here. This is a perfect time to stun him, but unfortunately, it was D-hard, and I didn't even notice, because I never stunned the warrior, and I really wasn't expecting the lock to, because like usually locks only stun healers, but I guess he stunned him and I wasn't paying attention, so I goofed up real bad, but I ended up blinding the healer, and he didn't end up trinketing because he knew it was Zoom. It's pretty much GG no matter what. So I think that he didn't shrink it because he knew it was over. I mean, he's he's at 10%. There's nothing he can do. So I ended up getting the good old-fashioned full D-Ard kidney, the 1400 playstyle assassination rogue. For some reason, I got a massive headache. I have the huge sinuses, like all today. I don't know. It's funny because the games that I actually like my warm-up games are better than my games when I'm actually playing like perfectly. Because these are just warm-up games. Like this is just me, you know. This is like when I just logged on, waited 30 minutes for a queue, and then just got it. And then like I played 2 games today, and both of them I went 6-0. I went from like 2560 to like 2900. I'm like 28. I'm like 28 something. You'll see at the end of this game. But both games 6-0. I'm 12-0 right now. Insane. We take those. So he ends up throwing the meatballs at me. Like I said, I say like I said a lot because I say this like every single video. I end up actually getting a huge go here. So I vanish and Garrote the Restless Sham. He's already trinketed, and at this point he's dead. So you have 3 seconds of a good old-fashioned silence. And meanwhile, the Restless Sham is already trinketed my blind. So that Ellie is just so much of a toaster oven. Especially that we like both used our cooldowns at the same time. We didn't like use it, you know, his first then mine. We both just full sent it. And at that point, even through walls, it wouldn't matter. He's just dead. So we get an instant fast win there, which we take. And pretty much, I ended up using this build, but so this is the time where I figured I would run my burst build. So the good thing about this is you can switch builds. Like you don't need to go to a certain spot to switch build. They end up getting in combat for no reason. I really wanted to get a sap ball, but I was like, whatever. I end up cheap shotting for like a fear or a hex or really a sleep. I meant from the evoker, but I don't think we got anything off. Here at this point, it looks like they're going Meta Ellie because they realize if you don't go Ellie, he just sits there and kills your entire team. So they end up doing full dam here. I could blind the Shaman. We'll see what happens here. You really only want to blind when you know you have, CC, but sometimes there's situations to where, like, this warrior died by the sword for no reason. Or maybe I wasn't paying attention. Maybe we went down to 30 and he got, like, a fat heal or something. But he ends up triple fearing. I think he ended up pre-trimmering it. So, yeah, he ended up pre-trimmering the fear. Insane Shaman on our team. So at this point, this would be a perfect time to... Actually, no, it wouldn't. I ended up already blinding, actually. I didn't even notice. I'm not even paying attention, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I'm half asleep just talking to you guys. So I end up full sending here, and I full send the warrior because he has no die with the swords. The warrior uses 1 defensive that can stop all damage from me, and now it's... For some reason, I couldn't Garrote here, so you guys can see here. I don't know why it wasn't working. The silence wasn't DR'd. So I wasn't able to. This guy is getting absolutely fried. We end up killing that Spiritling instantaneously and instantly destroying this guy. I end up trinketing the stun and absolutely just farming the good old-fashioned warrior. And this guy was very upset. I'm talking about, he said very bad words. Very, very bad words. But unfortunately, when you're facing the X-Vic, you gotta know one thing. It's like I'm the main character. You're gonna be on YouTube. You're gonna be on the YouTube. Thousands of people are going to be seeing you. I am the main character. I am Luffy from One Piece. I have plot armor. This is why I'm going 6-0 back to back. The plot armor is going insane. So here we're going to try to sap the Restless Shaman. Go Ellie like usual. We sap him here like usual. We're going to instantaneously get in a root. I cloaked that. Usually you don't want to cloak that, but I wasn't waiting for my healer to go and dispel me. If I don't get a dispel in the first second, it is what it is. So I ended up using my 1 defensive cooldown that I actually needed for no reason. This guy ends up DR stunning my target, which he could have stunned the shaman, the rest of the shaman, and I could have, blinded off that stun, but instead he stuns the target that we're going, that's DR'd. But let's be honest, even at 3K, even if even rank 1s, like half these people are rank 1s and they still, do the same thing I do. I end up DR blinding right there, so like I said, we be vibing out here. We don't care. This is solo shuffle. You go in, you click buttons, you win, you lose. Nobody cares. That's the great thing about solo shuffle. That's why it's a lot more fun than arenas. You just go in, play the game, and if somebody criticizes you, guess what? You have to go 6-0 on them. That's how it is. It's a GG no re situation. So I end up DR blinding, which is really bad. You never really want to do that, obviously, but in my situations, for me, for some reason, I think it's good sometimes. Like in my head, it sounds better than it actually does. So like there, I pop my damage. I get a 4-second blind. The guy's already at 60%. He should die. I mean, anybody else's, like, imagine if I had, like, anybody else's burst, he probably would have died. Let's be honest. Like, if a warrior clicked all of his buttons, and, like, if me and him clicked both our buttons right there, even in that 4-second blind at 60%, he would have been dead. Especially after off of Guru. But, unfortunately, my brain, my IQ is getting lower and lower because I'm playing a game that's requiring me to have low IQ to, be good at the game. Like, doing mistakes like this is actually helping me in the long run. Because using brain cells, playing good, you don't want to play good in the game anymore. You want to play, decent. There's no like, playing good is not fun. Like nobody has fun playing good. There's no reward. The only reward to playing good is if you're playing with other people that are playing perfect, and that's not a thing anymore. But we end up just full sending the Ellie. The end ends up walling again. So technically it was a good wall, but at the same time it was a bad wall, and the reason is we're not clicking any buttons, and it was still on DR for the kidney. And my guy ends up DRing the stun again. I was very mad right here because I was like, bro, we would have killed him. I had a full kidney. I was very happy. I was excited. And unfortunately, I had to kidney the warrior now to stop the damage. Thankfully, I did because he wouldn't have died here. The warrior ends up popping every single cooldown right there. Thankfully, he died right then because that guy would have instantaneously smacked me in the forehead with a mortal strike. So this warrior, he says very bad words right there. So I'm gonna be, not getting any money, like usual. But here's another situation. You gotta go the Eliante, and that's about it. As you can see, the Ellie, we went the Ellie, and he still did double everyone's damage. That's what I'm talking about. Even if you go Ellie, there's no guarantee that you will stop the damage. There's only a guarantee that you will, have a chance at stopping damage. You know what I'm saying? But yes, you guys have to, if you're gonna message me in the comments, at least say Legend XVic now. So you can't say just XVic. I am now Legend. So we need to be calling it how it is. We are the Legend XVic now. So make sure you're respecting the name. And we're getting a little bit too high of, on the viewer countage. So the comments, some of you guys gotta remember, I'm getting big in life. I'm like a famous star now. You guys gotta know this. You gotta be like Legend XVic. Please read my comment. I'm reading all these comments every day of my life. I'm responding all of that stuff, and it can't be like that. I end up blinding here off that instantaneously. He ends up trinketing. At that point, I end up garroting him. Doesn't even matter because I'm end up doing full damage here. See, that's a situation where you needed a full pump. I should have full pumped everything I got him. Because guess what? I'm never going to be able to use my CDs again. And I'm very salty. I end up using full send it right now. I kidney the healer. Full send it right here. That's the one situation where you actually get to use it. And we absolutely almost kill him. I was very sad. Because that was the first time I ever got it off as this evoker. And it didn't work at all. I got him to 10% and he got lay on hands. Very unfortunate. But yeah, you guys, if you guys want the AoE build, I'll have it in the description. I don't know if it'll work. I don't know if check PP is gonna be how it is. But this LE ended up, for some reason, this guy just would not die. This guy is, I don't know if it's the healer keeping him alive. Like, this guy felt so tanky. It felt like we could not kill him. I'm pretty sure it was the evoker just doing, like, he was god tier healing. He probably had like 4 set. And by the way, I have 0 set on right now. I accidentally put my belt as a tier, so now I don't get any set. So I'm playing at the highest, I'm facing some of the highest rated players right now. With 0 set, I have 389 ring on me. We're not looking too hot out here. But it don't matter. I don't need that stuff. I need to be at a disadvantage because I'm a Legend XVic. I'm the one and only XVic. If I'm not at a disadvantage, I instantaneously beat Peekaboo. I instantaneously beat Naj. I instantaneously beat the entire ladder. Just like in this situation, they didn't stand a chance. I didn't even need a 2-set. I didn't even need eyeballs at this point in time. It was already GG from the start. They didn't know that, but like I said, I'm the main character and they're the side character. And that's how it's going to have to be. I end up absolutely destroying him right here. He gets a big execute. I get my legend title. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. 3k MMR for the next games, including the next video whenever it comes out. Have a good rest of your guys' night, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace, peace. Or day.